welcome back to Straight Facts. Like, share and subscribe to the Football Terrace. Loads to talk about today as Arsenal suffer a major blow ahead of their top of the table clash, the title contending clash with Aston Villa tonight, as their best midfielder, one of the best players in the Premier League, Declan Rice, is set to miss the tie. We're also looking ahead at the transfer window for Arsenal after Mikel Arteta said we need to be and should be and potentially will be busy. Who will they go for? Could it be a move for someone like a Rodrygo that we're linked to in the summer, or could it be somebody else? We're talking about that on the show. We're looking at Chelsea's crisis as fans everywhere implode. It's spontaneous combustion at Stamford Bridge at the moment. Plus, Man United might be buying a new striker, according to Fabrizio Romano. Plus, we're getting Dave's take on United as he thinks we have improved. And he's going after all the negative Man United fans online. He's on a crusade. I've seen him in his armour, on his horse, sailing through the comment sections, smiting people down who dare say we should win games. But we have improved. We're going to be going through all that and a lot more. Big up to Egal, who's joining us on Straight Facts. Welcome back, of course, to David and the ever-present on Tuesdays, LB. How are we, gentlemen?
Big up, lads. Yeah, man. I hope you guys have a good new year and that. You know what I'm saying? It's
do you have a good Crimbo, LB? Man. I saw a lot of pictures of you in the pub. I was very jealous.
Yeah, bro. I drunk too much. I ate way too much, man. But it's what it is. You got to do it, innit? You know what I mean? We'll start again in January, you know?
Well, as the last few days have taught us, life can be short. So enjoy yourself. In balance to it, but enjoy yourself. It's well, I think if you enjoy yourself too much, it stops being fun, doesn't it? If that makes sense.
Correct.
Like if you do it every day, it's like, it's not even a treat because it's every day. So good to be done. Egal, good to have you back, brother. I hope you're feeling good and well now, my friend.
Yeah, feeling a lot better after the weekend's debacle. But yeah, everything's good, hopefully. In case you guys don't know, I had like a medical emergency, but thank God everything's okay.
You can't say that without saying what it is. Are you all right, mate? Yeah?
No, bro.
I'm good. Luckily, the hospital's dealt with him.
He ended up in the greatest hospital in London, where I was born, Whips Cross, and they sorted him out. So it's very well. Also, David Beckham from my hospital, from the same. Me and Beckham are very connected like that. Same hospital, same schools, same good looks, all those things, man. Me and Bex, East London boys, and both United fans. So yeah, it's we're basically brothers. Me and David, you know, we're basically brothers. Look, where we're going to start today. I want to start today with a little bit of Chelsea. I want to start with a little bit of Chelsea today. And of course, I'm going to go to LB first on this because I sent you through a few bits and pieces, but I'll paraphrase it by breaking it down to the audience because, you know, we won't talk through each post. There's Louis, massive Chelsea fan, who talks about, you know, his connections to the club and how things are set to implode. Things are chaotic internally. There's many a Chelsea fan who have been very publicly supportive of Clear Lake, the project. The squad's brilliant, one of the best in the league, who are now attacking the sporting directors, saying that the project's a joke, it's a Ponzi scheme. It was a great line that so many Chelsea fans are all saying in a slightly different way, but it's why is it that Clear Lake every year seem to be happy to take us back a year? So we're always a year away from being ready to compete. One win in their last 6, a big game against Bournemouth tonight. But they certainly feel like they're in they're officially in a crisis now, LB.
Yeah, and a lot of the Chelsea fans deserve it. Do you know what I mean? They deserve nothing less because the way that they've gaslighted everybody, the way that they've lied to people about what's actually going on. When people like me come on this show and speak the truth and then get abuse, you know what I mean, in the chat, in the DMs for saying absolute facts, which now Chelsea fans are agreeing with. Do you know what I mean? But they didn't want to have that conversation back in the summer because they just wanted to pretend like everything was all right. When I sat here, every week, getting stick off Chelsea fans who should love their club, who should be honest about their club. But when someone sits here, and tells the truth that they don't want to hear it, and now their club's imploding, they deserve it, man. They absolutely fucking deserve it, mate, Because I said at the start of the season, bro, did I not say Chelsea would finish 15 points off the top of whoever wins the title? Did I not say that?
Yes, you did, sir.
I said it, bro. And the amount of Chelsea fans that didn't want to hear it, yeah? Oh, you just rattled because of Porto. Oh, you just rattled because of Cole Palmer. No, the truth is, yeah, Chelsea were mad overrated off the back of winning the Club World Cup, yeah? GG's to them on it, but you were mad overrated. Your transfer window was shambolic, yeah? And you've got 4 or 5 players in that team, yeah, that are very good and that are carrying the rest of the side. And I just sat here in the summer and said, if these guys think that they're going to be in a title race, they're delusional. Yeah, I got called rattled. I got called like, oh, you're just jealous because we beat you in Porto, all this kind of crap. Yeah, and now look, they're 13 points off the title. Yeah, and we're not even, in fact, I think we're literally just halfway through the season. Yeah, and I said
tonight we go halfway through. Yeah,
the clubs in, their fan base is arguing with each other. The manager don't want to be there. Good. I hope it gets worse. Yeah, I hope it gets worse, mate. Yeah, because I told you all this was going to happen. I didn't want to listen, bro. Yeah, all he did was just give me crap. Yeah, me and Potsy were sat on this channel last year in the summer telling what was going to happen. And now there you go. So as this guy in the chat says, 2 billion spent, yeah, and GG's, your club's imploding. And I think it'll get worse. I think your manager will be gone at the end of the year. The thing is, I actually think that manager's a good manager.
Yeah,
he's not happy, bro, with what happened in the summer. So yeah, there you go, Chelsea fans. Yeah, shout out to there are a couple Chelsea fans. Yeah, I see in the chat all the time. Yeah, that are legit, and even if they don't fully agree with me, yeah, they're like, yeah, whatever. The guy can have his say. But the amount of Chelsea fans, yeah, that have given me crap for saying what I said, and it's all come true. You know what I mean? And maybe I overestimated Chelsea because I said Chelsea will definitely get top 5 at the start of the season. Maybe they won't even get Champions League. So there you go. Maybe you won't league next year.
I think what's very interesting is it's when you look at now what's being said across the board. I saw videos that our brother Don, part of the Football Terrace family, part of the Straight Facts family, I had to call him out because he's going on about the owners and the sporting directors continue to foul in bringing in starting level quality. Yet he said they've got the second best squad in the league. Says they've got a better attack than Manchester City. Goes, yeah, but the depth is better. If the starting quality is 3 or 4 levels below all the others, and then your depth is less quality, doesn't matter. You've got 10 strikers versus City's 2. If City's 2 are better than yours, their depth is better than yours. You're playing on words. It's semantics. I've seen this post here. This was one that really stood out to me by Louis. He says, through all my years of talking about Chelsea and then covering it more seriously, this week has been one of the most eye-opening. Speaking to people who have been close to the club, journalists, players, and the like throughout the regime, can confirm it's internally fucked, is what Louis had to say here. You've had Lawrence here that says it is unbelievable how committed they are to keeping us a year away from being a year away. Never has Chelsea Football Club under Clear Lake Capital been described in a better way. And this was maybe the killer yesterday for Chelsea fans, that there is money to spend in January if need be. However, Chelsea's hierarchy are not keen to go on going big, and the stance has not changed amid their disappointing run of 1 win in 6. And I think I agree with you, LB. They're not a bad team. I didn't think they'd be this far away from people at the top. I've got it wrong. I've got that wrong. I still thought, though, they would qualify for the Champions League. They're still of that level. But it seems something's amiss. And for me, I'm an outsider, yes, and I'll give my view on things. But you've sometimes just got to listen to what the majority of a fan base is saying. They know their club better than all of us. And obviously, we'll go to the chat in a few moments. But I have never seen this amount of people, even like the Clear Lake lovies, the ones who have always backed them, like the Dons and the Cheses. I know they'll say, I've criticised them as well. Yes, but you've had their back. You've had their back majority of the time. Don't talk about my club. Look where we're going. We're serious. Even those guys are now starting to really go in on the football club. What do you make of it, Egal? Because a few weeks ago, it was they beat Arsenal. They could win this league title. And now you've seen the post I've put up on the screen.
They play up to their opponents and they play down to their opponents. That's what Chelsea are. They're very consistent at being level with their playing opponent. If they're going to face a team like West Ham and they're going to drop points to them, or they're going to face a team like Arsenal and get a point off them, they're capable of doing that. And I don't think this season is a write-off for them, or this is indicative of how they are for the rest of the year. It's just at this moment in time, Cole Palmer being injured is a big issue, and him not being up to full scratch like he was the last couple of years has been a big miss for them for the majority of the season. A player that they've depended on heavily this season is not really as reliable. His whole career is João Pedro. You can't rely on him week in, week out. They've missed on 3 of their major summer signings in Gittins, Garnacho, and Delap. And then you look at their team and you have to just say to yourself, their best players are a defensive midfielder and 2 fullbacks. You can't rely on a defensive midfielder and 2 fullbacks to win you every game. It's not going to happen. You need your attacking players to step up. And I just don't think Chelsea right now have as good as a team as they thought they did at the beginning of the season. And even myself, maybe I myself got fooled by the Club World Cup because I overrated them. I thought they'd finish above City. I thought they'd be in 3rd at least. But yeah.
Listen, I thought they'd have a much better season. And look, there are still things their ownership's done that I like. I love the fact they've gone out and bought the Palmers and the Caicedos, brilliant young players. And I think there's a time and a place for doing that when you're trying to structure something. It's just been the last few windows. I thought they had a better summer than I expected. But again, at the end of the day, we're all fans of football. And sometimes we predict things right. Sometimes we get things wrong. We'll hold our hands up as grown men and say, yep, I thought Gittins would be better. I thought Delap would have had a better start. That being said, I'm not the professional sporting director. I'm not the scouts. I'm not the management. I don't run football clubs at the end of the day. And it's been really, really poor. And at the end of the day, the cold, hard facts of the matter for me are this. Man United are a bang average team. We'd all agree on that, even David. And the fact that we're level on points and a good result for us tonight and a bad one for them, halfway through the season, United could be ahead of them. That's not on. I mean, just as a 2025-26 season barometer, forget history for a moment, just on that level, 15th last year, awful. For us to even be near you at this point, I think that's a measurement of how you haven't progressed this year. And whatever anybody's predictions were, you can't ignore it and call it out. David, obviously, you predicted Chelsea to win the league. And
I did, yeah.
No, and that's not a dig. It's like, I get why people thought that. Some people really thought they were going to kick on. Like, what do you make of their current situation and the way their own fans are currently talking about their club?
Well, I'm glad you said that, to be honest, that I predicted that, because I can kind of relate how they probably felt, Chelsea fans. I watched that performance against PSG, and I know it's a one-off game, cup games, anything can happen, right? But with the signings they made, I really did think, they could have a Conte-type season where they kind of just, they're solid, but it hasn't materialized. But I don't think it's imploded, guys. I don't think it's the end of the world. Let's be real here. If they went and got a Marc Guehi in January and got another striker,
do you think they're going to do that though, Dave?
I mean, what? Maybe not. We've just read on the screen there that Terry put up that they have money. I'm not sure how old he is. Is he 28?
No,
they're not signing him.
25,
25, isn't he?
The point is, if they went and got a Marc Guehi now, and one of those forward players did step up, Enzo Fernandez maybe starts putting his chances away, they're not that far off it here, guys. They're not imploded. I think it's a massive overreaction. I think everyone just needs to stay calm, tranquilo. Listen, it's one of those seasons. Look how well Sunderland's doing. Things can change over the next 4 to 5 games, They are capable of stringing 4 to 5 games back to back, and then we're having a different conversation. All I'm saying is there are only 2 players. You can disagree with me if you want, but I think they're only 2 players away of challenging. That's all I'm saying. How many players are United away from challenging? Do you know what I mean?
What players are those? What players are those?
I would say a Marc Guehi, and it's not realistic
Haaland.
to say it, but no, an Osimhen, right? An Osimhen. We keep saying it because he looks like a perfect Chelsea type player, doesn't he? Right?
So this is where I challenge you, David. I don't overly disagree with that point. I think if they went out, I think it might be more than 2. They went and bought Victor Osimhen. I mean, LB spent the whole of last summer talking about that and got shot down for it. As in, no, the wages are too much. But if they went out and got Victor Osimhen, Marc Guehi, and say if they were the ones signing Semenyo, let's just throw that name in there because we all recognize him.
Yeah, I mean,
if you put that quality and that experience into that team, I think there is the potential for them to go up a level. I think why Chelsea fans are going mad online is because they don't think their club is going to do that. It will be, we're going to buy 3 or 4 more 18, 19-year-olds and put them into the squad, which is why a lot of Chelsea fans are coming out with the phrase that we put up on the screen, which I'll read out again, which I thought was interesting, which is, it's unbelievable how committed they are to keeping us a year away from being a year away.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I think Chelsea fans feel they're stuck on a bit of a hamster wheel. You're right. I think the anger is, we've got some really good players. We're up near the top end of the table. We can beat the best teams on our day, but more. And I keep saying this when we say experience. There's a prerequisite when you say experience, and that is that the players are also as good, if not better, than the players you currently have, but have also a little bit older, a little bit wiser. Been there and done it and worn the t-shirt. And the question is, and LB already asked you it, but do you think they're going to do this, Chelsea?
Yeah. I mean, I think they do listen to. Do they listen to fans? I mean, you've made the point here that we have a responsibility as fan content creators to be careful what we put out there. I'm sure the directors and the people in charge of Chelsea, are hearing this and are thinking, you know what, we do need to grab a bit of experience here, and that could be the difference. The point I'm making, Terry, earlier is, if you put Marc Guehi and Osimhen into Manchester United, I don't think we're still close to winning the Premier League. But if you put those players into Chelsea, I think they're closer than we would be. Do you see my point there?
But the thing is, the whole point is that Chelsea have demonstrated nothing to suggest that they're going to sign those type of players. Look at who they've signed.
They're getting the feedback now. I know, but they're getting the feedback.
They've been getting the feedback for like 2 years, bro.
I hear you.
And they had a good season last year. Yeah, not by their historic standards, but based off where they were last year, they had a good season. They got Champions League football. They won the Conference League. They won the Club World Cup. Yeah. Any normal sporting director would have sat there, would have said something like, "Oh, let's go and splash the cash on some serious player, a little bit of experience, and actually go for this league title." And what did they do? They signed a bunch of kids again.
To be honest, I think winning those trophies,
until they actually prove that they're willing to change the way that they do business and transfers, this will continue.
I think those trophies gave a false sense of,
that's what
let's continue with youth. Let's continue what we're doing. Let's continue with our plan, right?
CB said this yesterday on Straight Facts, yesterday morning, that in hindsight, winning the Club World Cup might have actually been a bad thing, because it kind of backed what Clear Lake were doing. Where had they have been embarrassed and gone out in the group stages, had the Real Betis have seen through that brilliant first half and won that Conference League final, maybe they would have gone out and bought the experience. But they've won 2 trophies. You've got Carefree Lewis every game. It's World Champions 1, Aston Villa 2 type like push. You've got the likes of Don and Ches, who would come on the terrace and say, "Didn't we all tell you this?" Basically, they said to us, "Didn't we fucking tell you how good this was? Shut the fuck up. We're there again." And it's fine to have chest when your team wins. I get it, but I remember
that's normal.
I remember Arsenal going through something similar. A lot of Gooners were like, when Wenger was winning those FA Cups, it was the club was still going backwards, even though they were picking up FA Cups, but it kept him in the job. It kept the direction moving in the wrong way. And actually, although you always want trophies, I remember, and this is the irony, a lot of the Arteta routers and Standard FC guys, I remember watching their fan cams and them saying, "It's great we've won the FA Cup, but it now means we keep Wenger for a year and we need him gone." So that's why when people say trophies are all that matter, that's why I do push back, because I remember listening to those same fans when 10 years ago say, "This trophy's actually bad for us." And that happened with Man United. I don't want to give the FA Cup back. I love beating LB City in that final. But we would have moved on from Ten Hag quicker, and it maybe we'd be in a better. You can't redo history, but maybe you'd be in a better position had you started. You're someone that thinks we've improved, David. Imagine we actually gave Amorim a full summer, another summer with his players, and another preseason. Maybe we're in an even better position now. Sometimes trophies are brilliant to win, but you have to look at the bigger picture. And I'm only putting out what Chelsea fans have said, but it's an interesting take.
I think that statement where they're always trying to be a year away from being a year away is just a testament to Roman's approach, which is win now, compared to them being like, wait. And I don't think Chelsea's fan base for the last 20 years have been used to anybody telling them to wait. So they're quickly going to lose patience with a manager, a set of players, or a new signing than ever before, because the Roman Abramovich approach was win now, win now, win now, win now. And I do think if that, like right now, Manchester City, they're always in win now approach. If you told City to wait 2 years out of nowhere, I'm pretty sure LB would be losing it also.
Yeah, but they haven't won since 2017, is it, the Premier League? And I think that's the itch that needs scratching for them. And even though they pick up trophies every single year, it seems like Chelsea, you have to give it to them. They know how to win a trophy. They haven't won that Premier League in a long time, and it's starting to get impatient. And I think that's why those words like imploded and all these things are coming out. But man, they're not that far away.
David, so what you're saying, David, is they should still trust the process.
Wasn't it Tom Little that came a few weeks ago and said 2028 is the date, the year that's been put out there by Clear Lake? Or was that just Tom saying it? I wasn't sure. But
I think there's something about 2028, 2029 in their kind of plan. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, if you do the maths there, I know that seems a far way away, and I wouldn't like that as a fan myself. If my club told me in 2028, that's when I mean, I'd be happy with that, seeing as where we are. But if you look at it, if they did sign a few experienced players, let's say they got one in January. Let's say they got Marc Guehi in January, no strikers. And like what I said a few weeks ago, the lap improves, or João Pedro improves, or Enzo Fernandez starts putting away some of the chances that Garnacho sets him up for. So, all of a sudden, it's a different Chelsea.
Okay. Fair. Let me ask you a question, though. And this CLB, because you weren't here last time, Egal, you will be moving forward. But this CLB, if he answers this question, or if he just does vagueness, which of the players do you think will improve? And do you believe they will start to buy the experience? Do you think they will actually do the things that you think are needed to improve?
I think they all have the potential. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to go down there. I'm not going to go down there. To be honest, I've been watching them a little more since having that conversation with you. I mean, João Pedro scoring goals that are flicking off his backside, it doesn't look great, does it? It doesn't look like those players will reach the level that they need to reach, I'll be honest. I don't think they will. I think Garnacho's got a lot of potential and he creates a lot. I do believe they need to get at least 2 experienced signings and they're in a better place. I know LB's fed up of listening to Chelsea, but yeah. Did I answer it, LB? Did I answer it?
Yeah. What are you talking about, Garnacho? Are you serious?
I thought he's been decent. I thought he's been decent, mate.
It's not about being decent. It's about Chelsea meant to be trying to win the Premier League and the Champions League again, and you're talking about he's decent. The problem is, if you sign decent players, they don't want to help you because you try to win the league.
I can't wait to be on the horse that you
Garnacho was a backward signing. Garnacho's was a backward signing. Let's be honest.
It was a backward signing, man. He's not going to go anywhere, is he?
Is he any better than Nani? They had Nani. Is he better than Nani?
Is he better than Nani? No, Nani's
Nani.
I thought he was throwing it back. I thought he was throwing it back to Nani, No, Madueke's looked excellent, but I said this last week. He's gone into a much more settled team. He's gone into a team where the manager's been there 6-7 years. He's given him clear instructions. Enzo Maresca's learning on the job. That's very obvious to see. I mean, I said this last week. He threw that game away against Ruben Amorim. Arteta's a much more settled manager, knows what he wants from his team. So Madueke's got a better environment than Garnacho has, right, at the moment.
That's true. Hey, I think, guys, Chelsea is going to continue to struggle with the identity of the new ownership compared to the identity of Roman Abramovich and their fan base. If they do go crazy about the manager and they do go crazy about individual players and they realize that the ownership are not going to do anything about it, it will get toxic, but they're just going to have to weather the storm. At this point, the ownership think completely different than the fans. The fans are still wired the same way.
No. But the thing is, though, Egal, a lot of the Chelsea fans, are buying into this nonsense. A lot of them are buying into it.
LB, let me ask you a question, bro. Let me ask you a question. Do you think they're buying into it, or do you think they're doing what Ches does on the Football Terrace? Do you think publicly they're pretending to buy into it to show they're a good fan? I back my club publicly, because I've heard some rumors about Ches. Ches was one of the guys who stormed the show a few weeks ago, if you remember, to condemn what you said about Chelsea.
He hijacked the show, and said,
hijacked it. So turns out Ches in the Chelsea group chats he's in, because the Chelsea fans are telling me, he's like, oh, I'm worried. He predicts losses in nearly every game. He's worried. He doesn't back the squad. He really ain't comfortable. But when he's in the public, sort of the mixed group chats where he's out in public, he's like, Chelsea are wicked. We're strong. Trust me. I get this feeling there's a lot of Chelsea fans that are projecting how good it is. There's definitely good things. Caicedo is brilliant.
I agree.
Palmer is brilliant. Cucurella, Reece James, brilliant. Robert Sanchez this season, I think, has been really good, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So there are good things. There's been good things. But I think there are a lot of Chelsea fans who, I don't think they fully back it. I think they are just saying they back it. But because of the way social media works, they've said it and they're like, oh, shit, I've got to stick on it now. And they just sort of stay in this sort of, on this hamster wheel.
Well, you're probably right, to be honest with you, But what people need to realise is, you're not criticising the club. You're criticising this random geezer that owns a football club and the people that are running it. You're not criticising Chelsea Football Club, the badge, everything it stands for. Yeah, you're criticising the 4 or 5 men, or women that are in charge of the group, of the club, who you've never met in your life. They'll never know who you are. If you can die tomorrow, they literally will have no idea. So when you're calling out the club, this is why some people find it difficult. So you're attacking the club. You're not attacking the club. You're attacking about 5 people at the top of the business that are making these decisions. Yeah, and that's what they should be doing. Yeah, but obviously, like you say, a lot of them are probably just they probably know that there's nothing really they can do. But then there is stuff they can do. You can protest together. You can call them out online. These people don't want to be slandered. And if you get enough of them doing it, they'll change strategy. Yeah, but they obviously don't want to.
Quick question, sorry. Do you guys know, since Clear Lake took over, how many trophies Chelsea have won? I'm not expecting you to know, because I don't know. They've won 2. And how long have Clear Lake been there? 2
nearly
years.
Nearly 4 years.
Is it 4 years already?
I think they're going into their full. This will be. I think it was the summer of. I want to say 2001. It might be 2002. Let me just check. When did Clear Lake buy Chelsea?
Well, it would have been war, innit? 2020.
May 2022. So in May it'll be 4 years.
The point I'm trying to get to is, if you did the maths on how many Roman Abramovich's era Chelsea, how many trophies they got, and the average across his reign, are they on course for that? But by the sounds of it, nowhere near.
No.
Yeah, nowhere near. So fair enough.
I mean, in his first 4 years, he'd won back-to-back Premier Leagues, League Cup, FA Cup.
Fair enough.
Champions League semi-finals. Yeah, I mean, it's nowhere near. In fairness, in the last 4 or 5 years of Roman, they didn't 4 years. They didn't challenge for a league title, so they'd fallen away from doing that. They were still picking up trophies. Reform was definitely needed. The idea of just, we're going to keep sacking managers, try and buy the best players. I don't think that would work. I don't think Roman's approach would have overly worked either in this era, because they used to have the financial monopoly even over Man United. People don't realize this, especially the kids, because with all the money that's being spent now, 200, 300, 400 million a year, people go back to 2004 and see Chelsea dropping 180 million. They go, that's nothing. What people don't realize is the average amount of money being spent in the previous 15 years before Roman by the biggest clubs was 15 to 20 million, 30 million maybe a summer. And suddenly Roman came in and spent nigh on 200 million. That's the equivalent now of a club going, we're not spending 250 million. We're spending 1.1 billion in a window. So they had that approach stopped working as well because of FFP, City's money, and the new TV money in the Premier League for the TV companies. All the clubs suddenly didn't need to. What City with Chelsea did in those early years, they'd see Sean Wright-Phillips have a good 6 months and buy him. Parker would have a good few months. Bang, they'd buy him. You couldn't. So reform was needed. I didn't mind what they started doing. They need to add experience now, and they'll be okay. But it's 2 summers in a row. They just have had bad windows.
I know you probably want to move on, but I guess the point I'm trying to get to, haven't Chelsea won like the same amount of trophies as Man City in the last 10 years or 20 years? Or they're the only team on par with City. And it's funny because this was going through my head and it's just popped up in the chat, and it's big up Quest. He's in the chat. Where do you guys rate? Where do you guys rate Pep Guardiola? Very highly. I don't even need to hear your response on that.
Top 2 in the managers ever. Top 2.
Right. For Chelsea for Chelsea to even pick up silverware whilst this man's been around and be on par with Man City, I think is a huge achievement, right?
But he's not been on par. It's since Pep
What's the
Guardiola.
last 10 years? Yeah, go for it.
Since Pep Guardiola came to Manchester City, they won one Premier League, which was the first year that Pep was here and he was doing all his mad rotation. So they've not won the Prem since then. They've won one FA Cup, a Champions League, a Conference League, and the Club World Cup.
So they've won, what was that, five trophies?
They're on par with
but the league title and the Champions
And
League were
Jurgen
won.
Klopp.
Yes, but those two big trophies were won before Clear Lake took over, so it's irrelevant to the.
Yeah, that's also very, very true. That was also before Clear Lake.
That was Roman Abramovich's goodbye. The second
Yeah,
time.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is, I mean, picking up any silverware with this man in town, Pep Guardiola, is difficult. And don't forget, Klopp was in town also.
Yeah, but
you know what
Dave,
I mean?
it makes it. Yeah, but wait a sec. Yeah, because you're talking about. We need to stop talking about pre-Clear Lake era.
Yeah,
This is
I
not
hear
a-
your point. Yeah,
This is not a Chelsea issue. It's a Clear Lake new era, new model problem. Yeah, and the facts is, yeah, they are making it more difficult to win trophies. Yeah, by the way, and the major trophies, by the way that they conduct their business. I'm not suggesting they should go out there and lob 80 million on Bastoni and on top of that get go and get a winger, Rodrygo 100 mil, and then get Osimhen, and then get this guy. And I'm suggesting going out there and conducting smart business, but business which makes sense. Marc Guehi, you could get him in January for probably 30, 35 million quid. Yeah,
That's what I
they
said,
can do that. Yeah. Oh, the thing is about the Osimhen deal, yeah, and I always talk about Osimhen. A lot of Chelsea fans say, "Oh, well, we don't want Osimhen because his wages are too high." Of course, his wages are too high. There's a severe lack of any decent strikers around in the world right now. If you want a decent striker that can get you goals, guess what? You're going to have to pay up the cash. And they're out there sitting there saying, well, we don't want to spend that money on him because he's on 400 grand a week. He might be on 400 grand a week. You know why he's on 400 grand a week? Because he guarantees you goals. And you don't want to spend the money. Go and get Liam Delap then, who's still not scored a goal this season.
But I feel like we're being a little bit harsh because what are
there we go.
What are their expectations? Because we're talking like they can still achieve what they want to achieve for this season, which is get Champions League football, compete in the.
Why was that? Why was that their? Why was that a goal?
I'm not even done. Win a trophy, like a big trophy, and then of course go as far as they can in the Champions League.
But they won a trophy last year, so they're stagnating.
Bro, at the end of the day, they're not in the Conference League anymore, so they're not expected to win the Champions League.
Winning trophies is never stagnating.
Hang on a minute. Last season, they finished in the top 4, so they qualified for Champions League.
Yeah.
They won the Conference League, and they won the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So surely, the next year, you want to be doing better than that.
But let's be honest, the Conference League is, for a club like Chelsea, is quite simple to get over the line.
Yeah, no, I agree, but they still won it, and then they won the Club World Cup as
well.
well.
This year, no one expects them to win the Champions League or the league. Let's be real.
Because of the transfer business. If they did, the expectations are set based off of the squad. If Burnley are in the Premier League, I'm not going to expect Burnley to win the Premier League because the squad's shit.
No, but I'm not going to judge them based off something that I did not even expect them to do from the beginning of the season. I did not expect them to challenge for the league. I did not expect them to win the Champions League.
Why not?
Because I don't think their defense was good enough. I don't think their squad is good enough.
So you don't rate the squad. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Had they assigned Egal, had they assigned, I know he's done well, but had they signed a legit goalkeeper, a centre half, a winger, and Osimhen, maybe you would have been sitting there saying, "Oh, these are going to be the title race."
But there's only going to be a handful of teams that are actually going to be competing at the top. I don't think we can sit here and fault them for not being there, but at the same time be like, where's Liverpool? They're worse.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
What are you talking about, bro?
We're treating Chelsea like we should be treating Liverpool right now.
No. Wait a sec. I don't know why you're bringing Liverpool into this, bro. We're speaking about Chelsea, yeah? You said your expectations for Chelsea was top 4 and maybe win a Carabao Cup or something like that. Effectively, is what you're saying, yeah? But you're saying that because of the squad. I'm saying to you, if they had signed Donnarumma, if they had signed Marc Guehi, if they had signed Osimhen, and if they'd have signed a top tier winger, which, by the way, would have probably come to less money than what they spent in the summer anyway. Would your expectations have been different for Chelsea this season?
I still wouldn't put them.
Yes, but at the same time, that's why
Gal, you still wouldn't have put them above Arsenal.
I'm judging them based off of what they did, not what they could have done. So,
but why would you judge a team off what they did in the past? You judge them based off of the squad that they've got going into the season, and the squad that they had wasn't good enough. That's why you're predicting them to get top 4 again, which is stagnation.
Yeah. So I think we're debating across paths here in the sense of. So I'll give you an example, Egal. I think what I'm hearing is, as a Man United fan, even if we come 4th this year, we're still nowhere near where we want to be. It's still a disgrace after 13 years of spending 1.5, 1.6 billion that we're not in title races. In the context of this season, there is progress. With Chelsea, you're like, well, I don't expect them to win the league because they haven't built a good enough squad yet, and or the manager isn't good. What LB is saying, it's a disgrace that after what they've spent, they don't have that squad to do it. So you're both kind of agreeing with each other. You're just looking at it from a different point of view and perspective. You know, as I always say, you can be happy with the progression of your team, but still not be happy with where they sit in the pyramid of football. Both those things can be true at the same time. With Liverpool, we're kind of criticizing them because they were the champions, spent 400 million. We're expected to win it when we looked at their squad, and also are probably most likely not going to do it as of right now. The disappointing thing for a lot of Chelsea fans is it's another summer where they spent hundreds of millions. It's a year on, and they now feel a year behind again, and they always feel a year behind. And I do get where the frustration comes in. But then I think we've hit the nail on the head today. I really do. And most Chelsea fans in the comment section are agreeing. They feel close. Now, Quez here says, but the problem is the narrative would be Chelsea bottled jobs if we didn't win the league. So your mindset wouldn't change anyway, LB.
See, the thing is, Quest, what you want to do now is, right, because you know I'm right, now you just want to do this. Oh, but if this did happen, you just say this, yeah? The fact is, bro, you was proven completely and utterly wrong when you hijacked the show, yeah? And, but it was him who hijacked the show?
It's Quest, not Chez. Quest does come in that show.
Right, well, you was proved wrong as well, yeah? The fact is, your club ain't winning the Premier League, it ain't winning the Champions League, yeah? You'll get top 5 again. And that is stagnation because you didn't do what needed to be done in the summer.
Can I ask a question, LB? You see all those players you listed that you think they should have signed, yeah? Let's say they did sign those players. Would you put that squad above Arsenal's? Would you put that squad above Man City's? Would you expect them to win the league ahead of those two teams?
No, I wouldn't.
Then,
because...
mate, I mean...
Wait a second.
Go for it.
Wait a second. My expectation, if they would have signed Osimhen, Marc Guehi, Donnarumma would have been to be a serious title challengers. Would I expect Maresca to win the league in his second year at Chelsea when Arteta's been there for 6 years and Pep? What? No, I wouldn't. But I'd expect them to be involved in a title race. And if they won the league, I'd be like, well, I'm not completely shocked. The point is, I went into this season knowing 100% they was never going to be in a title race. Yeah, they was never involved. Oh, we were in a title. No, you're not. Chelsea Football Club were never, ever involved in a title race. The only place
I'll agree with you, LB, is when I look at Chelsea's squad versus Aston Villa, I looked at Aston Villa's team and I said, they actually have a better team. When you look at the team,
Aston Villa.
This team, the way that they currently set up, having guys coming off the bench like there were difference makers in that game. You look at Chelsea's bench, where's all the quality gone?
There is no quality because they've gone quantity over quality.
I look, Terry, can you name the bench from Chelsea's the Chelsea Aston Villa game? Because I don't have it in front of me, but if I do look,
they had Esteval on the bench. I know Esteval was there. Who else was on the bench that day? Gittins would have been on the bench.
Kittens.
I don't know the other name.
Okay, I got it. Malagusto, Gittins, Delap, Esteval came off the bench. Then Aston Villa brought off the bench Ollie Watkins. They brought off Amadou Onana, Jadon Sancho, Lucas Digne.
Oh, please stop there, man.
And another guy. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I know Chelsea have better quality players, but respect to Aston Villa. They're bringing on big players that are making a difference.
Yeah, I agree. I was shocked when I saw that, except Sancho, right? Because obviously I've got my agenda against that fella. But when I saw Nana and Watkins and Sancho coming off the bench, I thought, blimey, I didn't expect that from an Aston Villa bench. So you do have a point there. But even that bench you just named, Chelsea, that's not a bad bench. That's not a bad bench.
Yeah, but you're what you're doing is you're thinking about it compared to Man United's bench. You're not thinking about it again. Again, what we're looking at this as Chelsea are a team pushing for a Champions League position. If the Prem get top 5, they'll probably be in it. But what we're speaking about here is a team that's looking to go on and win the league. Compare it to City's bench. Compare it to Arsenal's bench. It ain't as good. Terry, you are becoming one of my favorites on these fan channel streets. For real, you keep it real. Not like that gap tooth cornball and the Biryan. Listen, Saeed and the boys are great. I don't know who the gap tooth cornball is. I don't want to know who that is. I have no idea who you're talking about. But big up yourself, bro. Hal Egal, the fearless gunner general, is what Yahya Guna says here.
Big up. My Somali
says just tuned in. The same shit from LB last year. At every dip, the same shit. We will work through it, still growing and fix a lot of the foundations. I stand with Egal 100% on the despicable racial attack. Oh,
Yeah.
what's that?
I'll send it to you later.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know about that. For a second there, I thought it happened in my chat. I was like, how did we miss this? And thank God I didn't think it would happen here. But there we go. When fans speak straight facts, it will stop killing the game. Only downside is my honorary Guna will be out of a job. You have my respect, LB. We won't be. We'll just talk about other things, and then the world will move on from doing that. It'd be great. It'd be great if we could drop 80% of the banter and just talk for facts. It'd be nice, or talk real. I agree with LB. Chelsea need experienced players, is what Michael says here. And Boston Ralph is back with us again and says, no, Roman was buying players on his yacht. They moved mountains to fix the financial issues been going on the club back to competing again. To be fair, again, another reason why Roman's actions probably would have ended up getting him in trouble is with all the stuff that they've self-reported. I mean, imagine who knows what would be going on in the last 5 to 10 years, 5 years or so if he would have stayed.
I have a thing on that. They're doing that self-reporting stuff to paint him in a bad picture, to make people like, you know what, look, yeah, he won you all these trophies, but he was doing all this illegal shit, and now we have to fix it.
Maybe you could be right. Equally, look, let's see what happens with the City outcome of the 130, not the 115, the 130 charges. But there's talk about football regulators coming in, and if football regulators come in and then can knock on the door and say we're going through your books, and no lawyer can stop them, like a bank as an example, maybe they're looking ahead, because if they come in and see it and then ignore it, and then a regulator comes in 5 years, we all know what they're trying to do. Clear Lake, they're trying to sell the club in 10 years' time for an exorbitant amount of money. Imagine they hired up this potential corruption, and then in 3 years' time, a regulator comes in and they get annihilated, lose points, money, revenue. They'll never get the value up to sell it at a profit. So I think for them, that's more likely than can we make people hate Roman Abramovich. I don't see the mileage in that personally. But you never know.
So you don't think they have ambition to win, Terry? You just think they want to prop up the club to sell it?
Look, I think I look at it this way. If they can win along the way, they will. And that's great. But if somebody came along now, they're not allowed to sell it right now, actually, because of the rulings. But if somebody came along right now and offered them enough money, they'd just sell it. So, by the way, same with Ineos, same with the Glazers, same with FSG, all these ownerships, they would sell it for the right money today, all of them straight out. They're not where I think you could probably offer City's owners 10 times the valuation and they'd say no. They're not interested in selling it for a profit. They're interested in winning. Whether people think they have a side hustle and it's all about sports washing or not, that's another debate for another day. They want the football club to win. Most of the other owners, they want to win. But there is another motivation, which is, well, let's win as much as we can so we can sell it for as much as possible. That sale price is the ultimate goal for a lot of these owners, to be fair. Yeah. And of course it is, because a lot of them, they're venture capitalists. The money comes from venture capitalism. That's literally what their job they're there to do, is to make money. Viewers, hit the like button, please. If you haven't done so already, get yourselves subscribing to the channel as well. I want to speak. We're going to do transfers a little bit later in the show, but I wanted to speak about tonight's game with Arsenal playing Aston Villa, Egal, because the big news this afternoon is that Declan Rice, probably your player of the season, has picked up an injury. It's another injury now for Arsenal. He's picked up an injury and will miss the game. He played on through the injury against Brighton, but will now miss the game tonight. How big a blow do you feel that is, losing probably your biggest talisman this season?
Terry, as long as we have some of our key players back, like Gabriel, Timber, and everything else, we'll still be able to weather the storm. But he has been one of the best players in the Premier League this season. Maybe him and Erling Haaland, you could say, have been the two best players this season in the Premier League. And anybody missing one of the best players this season across the league is going to be missing a big piece of the puzzle. He allows us to have a lot more control of games because of all the breaking up of play that he does, all the running and driving. He takes a lot of pressure off the midfield by just driving the ball up the pitch. And it's unfortunate that he gets injured, filling in at right back for two right backs who got injured in Timber and Ben White. So yeah, to the people who always want to criticize the manager for players getting injured, they're going to probably stick it on him for this one. But in my opinion, throughout the season, you have to manage players. And luckily for us, James, who reported on it from the Athletic, stated that he thinks that this is just a precaution because they're not 100% sure that this could get re-aggravated or get worse. So they're trying to prevent that from happening. With so many games being played, they're going to take the hit for this game, have him not play, and then hopefully going forward for the rest of the season, it won't get worse. And he can just get better now rather than it get worse and later on him miss, a month or 2 months.
Can I ask you a question, Egal? Like a genuine question, yeah? Is Rice, would you say he's the best player in the Premier League this season?
Yes.
So obviously that is your most important player, right?
Yeah, him and Gabriel.
All right, so based on that, yeah, just a serious question, yeah. Do you think that Rice playing in every single game this season for Arsenal, bar one, is a smart move?
No, he hasn't played every single game, bar one. He's been a substitute for majority of those games in the League Cup.
I'm saying that he's played in every single game this season, bar one.
Yeah, that one game, I think he was rested. He was a substitute for one game.
Yeah, I know he's been substitute for a couple of games. But the point I'm making is, yeah, I'll just look at my club. Erling Haaland, for example, has been left at home for certain matches.
How many?
He's not injured. 3, 4.
Let me check.
Continue. Fact check it. He's been left at home for some Carabao Cup games. What I'm asking you, yeah, do you think that Mikel Arteta could have left Rice at home for certain games this season to let him have a proper rest? And do you think that maybe he has overplayed him?
Okay, just to be clear, you have played 18 games this season in the Premier League, right?
Yes.
And all 18 games, Erling Haaland started, by the way. So in the league, I think your best players start majority of your games in the league, and the way you get them rest in the league is by blowing out a team and having your guy coming off the being benched for the last 40, 20 minutes. In the Champions League, we've rotated, and you've had Norgard start games, you've had other players start games, and he hasn't had to start every Champions League.
Wait a second, you're not really answering my question. My point.
Let me finish. You'll get it. He has been played majority of the Premier League games, and he's been rotated in the cup games. I don't think there's anything wrong with Arteta playing some of your best players in the most key games in the Premier League and rotating in the cups.
Okay.
I don't think this. I think this is just accumulation of him having to do a lot of more high intense sprints filling in
right back.
Okay, so my point is, do you not feel then that him playing in every single game of the season and not being left at home, bar one, is a little bit too much? That's my question.
No, because I think all the top players do. For example, Erling Haaland.
If that's what you think, that's what you think. I'm just looking at like.
You said Erling Haaland has been left home this season. Yeah, maybe for the Carabao Cup games, but he's played 28 games this season. I'm pretty sure he played every single one of your Champions League games. He's played every single one of the league games.
But you're talking about...
And he played every single one of those Club World Cup games, bar one. So I don't see the issue with your best.
You've just said though, right, that Declan Rice is your most important player, and that Declan Rice is sprinting up and down the pitch. With respect, Erling Haaland isn't sprinting up and down the pitch the whole game. Declan Rice is, therefore, he's putting his body under more stress, and therefore he's going to be more prone to injuries. You, for example, why could I'm just asking a question? The chat don't need to get rattled. Why, for example, in the third round of the Carabao Cup away at Port Vale, is Declan Rice not at home? Why is he with the squad? And why is he coming off the bench to do the last 10 minutes against Port Vale, for example?
Okay, let me answer.
Okay.
If he comes off the bench for 10 minutes in that game, it saves him having to do an extra 30 minutes of high intensity training after the game. He's actually saving his legs by coming on for 10 minutes rather than
waffle.
No, it's not. It's true.
That's a load of waffle, bro. What are you talking about?
All these professional footballers who do not come in as unused substitutes have to then train another 30 minutes of intensive training.
I think game intensity is completely different, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's actually...
but game intensity is completely different.
No, but guys, the reality is, as much as we want to criticize managers for bringing on players, there's a method to this madness. It's not a thing where it's like, oh, you're just bringing them on for the sake of bringing them on. These guys are professional footballers. If they don't play that game and they are unused substitutes, they actually are going to have to train longer than coming on for 10 minutes.
I think it's an important year for Mikel Arteta, and he has to play his best players. So I agree with Egal there, and you play your best players. Bruno doesn't miss a game. And I think, like Egal said, playing Declan Rice, that right back, a position you're not familiar with, you're going to have bigger sprints, bigger lunges because you're not familiar with the position. That could have contributed. But I also agree with LB. He shouldn't be playing games like Port Vale and stuff, especially when Arteta's got a reputation. Maybe not Arteta, but the club in general has a reputation of injuries. So you're both right, in my opinion, if I'm honest.
Bro, this guy plays every game for England as well when he goes away with England. So,
yeah, I mean, it's true.
Egal's effectively saying, never give this guy a rest.
No. I'm not saying never give.
That's what you're saying, bro.
1 second. I actually spoke about it with me and Souls. We were speaking about it yesterday on my channel. But I'll tell you this: if I look at the schedule and I look at the next upcoming games, I would have played him versus Aston Villa if he was fit. I would have probably played him versus Bournemouth. I probably would have played him versus Liverpool. The game he would have got rested is Portsmouth in the FA Cup, and actually Chelsea away. He's gonna have to play again. And then Nottingham Forest he's going to play, and he's probably going to get versus Inter. In my opinion, in an 8-game stretch, you don't rest the player every second game. In an 8-game stretch, maybe he can get rested 2 out of the 8. But we're talking like...
Yeah, look, what I would say, I think it's fair, but I was just looking at Man City here, who are second in the league, and Bernardo Silva's only played about 150 minutes less than him. Phil Foden's played 120 minutes less than him, but missed 2 complete games through with an ankle injury. Had he been in the squad for those 2 games and played, it would be about the same amount of minutes. Reinders has played about 250 minutes less than him this year. Nico Gonzalez has played the same amount of minutes as him. Haaland's played the same amount of minutes. I agree.
It's not about the minutes, though, Terry. It's not about the minutes, bro. For me,
what do you mean?
Well, Egal just said Declan Rice has been the best player in the Premier League and he's their most important player. Bernardo Silva's not our most important player.
Haaland is.
Right, and I've already answered that question. Egal just spoke about the fact that Declan Rice, and I agree, is running up and down the pitch, doing last-minute, last-ditch tackles. He's pushing his body to the limit. Yeah. Haaland's not doing that. Haaland's just stood up the end of the pitch waiting for free balls.
I understand that. But again,
you work in fitness. You're telling me I'm chatting crap here.
No. You are speaking facts, but Haaland is bloody explosive and he's doing some crazy runs as well. He's working hard too. But you've got a point. You do have a point. Declan Rice is the best box-to-box midfielder in the world right now.
But it's his job. I mean, I look at it this way.
It's his job.
I think it's a conversation here. I think that I would have probably left him at home for a couple of those earlier Carabao Cup games, but then he's been taken off in games earlier than some of those other players. So as much as someone like Seranders might have had a game where he's not in the match day squad and he's getting a complete rest in that regard, he's playing more minutes in all the games. So there's an accumulative nature. One of the things Pep did, by the way, very, very well with Haaland, especially in his first couple of seasons, the amount of times he'd be on 2 goals, but he'd get taken off after 60 minutes because he did have some injury problems when he was at Dortmund. But then that's managing a player that has injury problems. Declan Rice hasn't really had them. Very much like Bruno Fernandes. Certain players just get to play, and maybe as Declan Rice gets older, he'll probably be a little different. I just think it's relatively normal for players to get the volume of. I just think your best players, they tend to get very similar amounts of game time to that of Rice. And the one thing I would say about Rice being on the bench, and maybe this is more Arteta outers, whenever Arteta would pick a rotated team and have a weak bench, and then they went out of these cup competitions to teams they should be beating. It was you don't take the competition seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, by having his best players on the bench, and now he's maybe forcing them into injury. It feels a little bit like what he's damned if he does, and damned if he doesn't in some ways.
Yeah, that's why I said it earlier.
Yeah,
he's taking this year very seriously. You know, he's taking this year.
All these Arsenal fans bang on about these injuries, yeah, but then they never ever want to have a conversation about whether or not Arteta is to blame in the slightest.
1 second.
Of course, he has to have it.
If we're gonna get to criticizing the manager about substitutions and injuries and all these things, I do agree. Arteta has to look at himself also and find more ways to rest these players. But I think the whole reason why Declan Rice is not playing the game today is for that precautionary reason. I think today is a preventative action to potentially prevent him from getting further injury. So as much as we're criticizing him today, he has prevented some injuries by having guys miss 1 or 2 games. He's already missed 1 game this season. He's missed less games than Erling Haaland, for example, LB. And you've said we forget about the intensity. I do think Mikel Arteta gets a lot of criticism for things that are out of his control. Odegaard had 3 injuries where he got injured at halftime because he fell out somebody and he hurt his shoulder. Some of these are contact injuries, like Saliba rolling his ankle, Gabriel having his injury, away at Brazil. You can't control some of these things. And
I guess
even last year with Odegaard ankle getting taken out by another player in international duty.
I guess the point LB is trying to make, though, Egal, is you're saying he's being rested today as a precaution to not further injure himself. I mean, LB's argument is you've got a good enough squad to rest a man against Wolves. Rest him against Wolves, bring another man in so that he's ready for this Villa game. It's not like these fixtures come out of the blue. They know exactly who they're playing in a few weeks' time. That's the argument there. You can beat Wolves without Declan Rice, let's be honest.
No, you're right. And maybe that is a situation where we should be maybe giving a guy like Norgard more run in those
Correct.
games. And to be fair, Declan Rice did start that game with Zubimendi. Zubimendi, the guy who came off that game. And there is also another guy in Zubimendi who's had a lot of minutes in the midfield who has had to rotated. Guys, we've had our defense all get injured, our attack get injured, and the midfield is now getting injured. It's not a coincidence. They're all falling like flies at certain points.
Yeah, this is why LB's questioning it, right?
I do think Arteta does some
hang on, but we looked at the stats a few weeks ago, and it was like Arsenal have had like 25 injuries this season, 26. But then City were on 24, and I think Liverpool were on 24. I think only maybe Newcastle were ahead of them. It's Arsenal not getting the last time that the stats were shown in like a graph for all the injuries this year are not getting more injuries than many more injuries than the other Champions League teams. I just think what happens is I think City get an injury, and City, this is I mean by its fans play a part in this. City get an injury and they go, it's fine, someone's going to come in, the system will work, we've got these players, we're fine. I think Arsenal get an injury and it's, oh my God, there's an injury. The rivals go, let's wind them up a little bit here. Do you think Arteta was to blame for making them train and making them play hard football matches? And then Arsenal fans, it's like an internal war. And I'm sitting again, but all the other top teams have had the same amount of injuries. It's just normal. It's just kind of normal.
I don't think it's right. Okay, my only point is I don't think it's normal. Yeah, when you've got Egal's words, the best player in the Premier League, Arsenal's most important player, playing in every single game of the season, bar one. That's my opinion. If you disagree, there you go. But now he's injured.
Aside from Declan Rice, the platform tonight is set for Arsenal. It's a massive game. And whether you're Arteta out, Arteta in, whether you love Gyökeres or you don't, you've got to get behind your team tonight. You know, Declan Rice is not there. Be Declan Rice. The fans need to be Declan Rice tonight. You know, if you win tonight and Gyökeres has an amazing performance, Gabriel could put his foot down tonight and say, hang on, everyone's talking about Declan Rice Ballon d'Or. I deserve the Ballon d'Or. I deserve to be mentioned in that. I'm one of the best defenders in the world. And he could step up tonight, score a header and create a clean sheet for Arsenal. So it's a big night for Arsenal. Without Declan Rice, they've got enough. They've got enough to win tonight and send a massive message. Do I hope they will? Of course I fucking don't. I hope they lose.
Listen,
Yeah. Now, listen, how are you feeling about the game? So Declan Rice aside, you know, you've been a team in the last few weeks, Egal, that has really created a lot of chances, been the better side, but struggled to put the ball in the back of the net. You're playing a team that loves not having the ball. I got a lot of stick in the summer for saying Emi Martinez was a top goalkeeper, but I think he's leading the way in the Premier League in nearly every single goalkeeping metric that was released. You know, shot saves, goals prevented, etc. Got Emi Martinez in goal. He's always got a point to prove against you. You don't have a good recent record against Aston Villa. When you put that all in to the mixture, how confident are you tonight of getting the all-important 3 points against Aston Villa and ending their longest winning run in 111 years?
Okay, it's nerve-wracking slightly because of the magnitude and everything, but I feel like this is basically being spewed and shoved down my throat 24/7 that Arsenal are not as good as they actually are, and Villa have been scintillating. When I actually look at it, Villa's the team that's playing unsustainable football. Villa's the team that's outperforming their expected points, their XG. We're the team that had 9 XG created and scored 1 goal. They're the team that created 3 XG and scored 10 goals. And it's like, eventually that has to resort back to the mean. And I do think this is a game. There is a team out there that we're going to batter like we did Bayern in this league soon, because we're creating way too many chances to not finish our dinner. It's really just down on us not being able to be clinical. And Aston Villa have been extremely clinical lately. So the stage is set for Aston Villa to come there, have like 2 chances and score both of them, and we end up losing. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be a game where we show everybody what we're really made of. We respect Aston Villa as they beat us earlier in the season. And I don't think a lot of teams respect Aston Villa in the sense that they play Aston Villa the same way that Arsenal's played, City's played, and Liverpool and Chelsea at times are being played. I don't think teams actually respect them like that. So with Arsenal, them coming to our ground, it's not going to be an easy fight for them. We're going to go get all the stops out, get the fireworks, get everything. I want to piss on their grave. I want them done tonight. I want them.
Oh, blimey.
I want them finished. I want Aston Villa and this Unai Emery 11-game winning streak over. Because
Egal, you're due a big performance, though, aren't you? You're due like a big 2-3 goals, like.
And every time we have a player out, it galvanizes the team. Gabriel got out, it galvanized the team. We went and did something. Players get out of this team. The group of players that we have out there are going to go out there and they're going to fight for a Rice because they know he's been one of our best players this season. They're going to go fight for him. I think we go and we beat Aston Villa, and not only how we beat them, I think it's going to be a situation where Aston Villa are going to be seeing that they cannot create the same level of chances. They're not going to have the same level of control. They're not going to have the same touches on the ball. They're going to see a team that's going to be like late in the game. If it's cagey, they're going to try to get 1 or 2 out of it. But I think we're going to get an early goal. Aston Villa, we're going to force them into mistakes, and everyone's talking about own goals, set pieces. You might get one of those, but the main guys I need to step up is Saka. I need Odegaard. I need Gyökeres. I need some of these.
Would you start Gyökeres? The big question is: would you start Gyökeres tonight, or would you go Marino up front?
No,
100%. I'm starting Gyökeres. Marino's not coming up top. Jesus is not fully 100% fit to start the whole game, in my opinion. You go with Gyökeres in this game, and you continue to go, because when he's on the pitch, he diverts players away from Saka, away from other players. There's people sticking on him. I've not yet seen defenders stay away from him and disrespect him. The moment I start seeing that, then it's going to be a conversation. To have a conversation.
Egal, question. If you don't get a result tonight, I don't want to put negativity out in the air for you, but if you don't get a result tonight and City win their game, and you, for the first time this year, I believe, since it kind of stabilized, you go second. Genuinely, how do you feel about Arsenal winning the Premier League thereafter?
I don't think it matters as long as we're there and thereabouts and with the lead come the end of the season. Right now, it can change so much. It's early. It's December. I think LB himself will tell you it's too early to be feeling nervous and scared about the title race. I think a lot of people are creating this fear in Arsenal fans' minds because we have had the experience of dropping off
exactly
in the past, and I do think my own fan base has that said fear. The media play up to it, but I get a sense that we're being downplayed, and City is being overhyped or overrated slightly because we are not playing well. We're winning. City doesn't play well, they win. It's what champions do. Arsenal
I agree.
Arsenal do that.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. They're shaky.
Yeah.
They conceded a goal late. Well, City just won a last-minute winner. It doesn't matter. That's what City do. That's their winners. Arsenal win the game 2-1, and they held on to a 2-goal lead. Guess what? You guys are shaky. You guys are not looking good. And I do
seeing your team second.
I do think Gabriel coming back is a big miss too. And when Gabriel comes back, everyone's gonna realize, these teams are not getting many chances.
Arsenal, but seeing your team second won't change anything in your heart. Won't change anything in your confidence. Won't change anything in your feelings.
It will change the fan base's feeling, because the fan base a lot of the fan base is scarred, and I understand. But besides the fan base feeling a certain way, I think the players and the manager have a different mindset. Arteta came out of the game. He was asked, it was kind of nervy at the end of the game. He said, no, we controlled the game. We won it. And they didn't. David Raya made a beautiful save. Outside of that, we deserve to win the game. Guess what the Brighton manager came out and said? Oh, we deserve to draw. You look at the actual stats. It's like, what are you talking about? We outplayed you in every single way.
I mean, listen, you're playing bad and you're winning games. I think that's champion material. But I think if Man City go ahead, mate, and go top, and I think if I asked LB the same question now, and he went top tonight, I think LB's like thinking, we've done it.
Too early though. December 30th.
What do you think, LB?
No, I'm with you, mate. I think if we get to top, I think we will. We could stay there, man. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying. So that's why tonight's big, and obviously the.
Why is that? Because of Arsenal continuing to drop, or is it because?
No. I just think we won't let it slip, man. I think that's where it'll be. But
you could lose. You could lose this week. There's no guarantee you're.
Yeah. No. But this is Dave just said that this is on the basis that City do go top, so we do have an games. But Egal's right. It is still early days, but we'll see, man. Like tonight's big for me. I think it's a very interesting game because I actually think Arsenal would win the game, but that was before I knew that Rice got injured, and Rice is very important. But to be honest with you, man, like I know Villa are doing great stuff here, but I don't see it continuing, man. I don't, man. I've watched a lot of Villa games, man, and like the goals they score are outrageous, and I'm like, is that going to continue? Like, you know what I mean? They just score bangers every time I watch them. So I personally don't think Villa will be in the title race come March. But however, if they go to the Emirates tonight and win, then I'm going to be like, these they might be able to sustain it. Who knows, man?
That would be beating Man United, Chelsea, and then Arsenal, right, back to back. If they did that tonight,
they beat Ozil at their Garth. They beat. They only got beat off Liverpool, didn't they? Yeah.
It would be interesting if they won again when not being the better team for large parts of the game, because I think against Villa, you could argue United with a better team in parts. Chelsea were definitely the better team for the first 55, 60 minutes. And I don't see them being the better team than Arsenal over the course of 90 minutes. To win 3 games like that, there does come a point where you go, well, we keep saying it's unsustainable, but maybe it is. It's but I think Emi Martinez is maybe the unsung hero in this. Rodgers is getting the plaudits for the goals. But I was just looking. I mean, I've watched their games and I've watched him play. And he's one of those individuals when people don't like him, a bit like Donnarumma in the Straight Facts group chat, one mistake or semi-mistake, and it's like everyone jumps on it. It's like watching dogs when they jump on a bitch in heat. It's like they all desperate for it. Yet you have to wait 10 more games for there to be an even sniff of it. Emi Martinez has been a big part of this. He just makes so many saves. Yes, he'll make some errors, but all goalie. I remember Schmeichel making errors. I remember Petr Cech making errors. I remember, I've seen Alisson and Ederson, the best 2 keepers in the last 10 years in the Prem, make mistakes. People just weird. They act like goalies won't make them. We can't normalize that. It'd be a weird thing to normalize and expect. But it's going to be an interesting one tonight because I'm sticking with my prediction earlier on today, and I'm saying 3-1 Arsenal. But I'm throwing in a counter. It's either going to be 3-1 Arsenal or 2-0 Aston Villa. And what I mean by that is it's either going to be a game where Arsenal take their chances and win, or it's 0-0 because Arsenal haven't scored and Villa get 2 late goals. That's how, if Villa win, it will be Ollie Watkins on the counter-attack in the 85th minute and then another goal in like stoppage time, if that makes sense, when Arsenal are pushing. So it will either be Arsenal will score quite a few goals tonight and beat them, because I feel like with Villa, I feel like if a team, and United could have done this, Chelsea should have done this, but you've got it's like a theory. If a team could score a couple of goals against them when they're on top, I don't like a good team. I don't
Changes the
know
game, yeah.
if they'll come back. I know they did against West Ham, but West Ham don't defend like Arsenal. If Arsenal will get chances early in the game. If Arsenal can take them tonight, go 2-0 up, I don't see Villa coming back. It's just if they don't, the longer it goes on, the crowd's going to quieten, the nerves are going to creep in. You're going to hear squeaky bum time, but it's going to be a great game. The only gutting thing for me is that there's fucking so many other games on at the same time. I would love to sit and watch the game in isolation.
You want a fun stat? These guys have only had one game this season where they've scored the first goal away from home. So they have a good away record, but they're constantly coming back to win.
Coming back, yeah.
And I don't know, with our defense, if what happened away from home, that nerves everything, I don't think that's going to happen at our ground.
Yeah, I think it's got draw written all over it, guys. I really do. I think these big games sometimes just end up so cagey.
A draw's a loss for me.
I hear you, because it obviously if City win, it puts them top, doesn't it? Yeah. Goal difference, right? What is the goal difference? What is the goal difference?
It's quite big, isn't
it? City are like what, 1 or 2 points?
No,
is it only 1 or 2 goals?
No, I think it's bigger than that. No, the goal difference. Oh no, you're right. No, 26 to 22. 26 to 22.
So 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. If they win tonight and Arsenal draw, that probably stretches to maybe 1 or 2 more.
There is the reverse, though. Arsenal go beat Aston Villa, statement win, and then Sunderland go and get a draw versus Man City. That could happen also.
Of course, yeah, you're right, Egal.
Sunderland are at the Stadium of Lights. Man City's away form compared to their home form is night and day. They have had majority of their drop points this season away from home, and Sunderland, as much as they have a bunch of these players out, they still have Granit Xhaka, they still have Bobby, they still have their guys there. Now, I'm not sitting here saying it's going to happen, guarantee, but we're constantly talking about Aston Villa. I remember this same situation a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Arsenal dropping points to Tottenham, and then City went and dropped points, and we won against Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, look, it could go the other way. You're right. You could win. Sunderland could get a draw. Arsenal go 4, they put you 4 points clear. And that's why I think the narrative about if City go top this week, midweek, I don't think it's a guarantee they win the league. If Arsenal go 4 points clear, I don't think it's a guarantee you win the league. It's going to be narrow. It's going to be marginal. I think until really close towards the end of the season. That's just been my view for a long. I push back against all the dullards that were doing the whole, Arsenal have won it. Whether it be like gooners that like with running away with it, it's going to be a cakewalk. Said you were wrong. All of the Arsenal haters that were lying it was over just so they could say you bottled it if you didn't. Just all of that talk was crazy. It was far too 7 games into the season, people saying it's over. Yeah, if you'd have won your first 7 and Liverpool and City had both lost their first 7, then maybe it was over. You know what I mean? If you had a 20 odd point advantage that early in the season, 21 point advantage that early, but you didn't. It was crazy talk. But it's gonna be a great game tonight. I'm very, very excited to watch it. Let's do some of these super chats here. First one says Arsenal have the best home record, 9 wins and 1 draw. This is true.
Boom.
Emery taking notes off Egal. How is there a bit of a thing as well, Egal, where you want to sort of stop? Where you want to you'd like to beat an Unai Emery team, because there's a lot of talk at the minute that Unai Emery is the better guy, the better man.
I honestly hate it. I'm just gonna ask you guys a question. Would you take Unai Emery at Man United?
No.
You see how quickly you responded to that. Now, if I said to the same thing to Arteta, would you not take Arteta?
I'd take Arteta over Unai Emery. Yeah.
There's managers that do certain jobs and they're better suited to certain jobs. And I think Unai Emery is better suited to an Aston Villa, to a Villarreal, and I don't think he's capable of handling the top jobs. We've seen him at PSG. He bottled the league to Monaco. We've seen him throughout his career, 22-plus year career. Everywhere he's been, he's never even
bottled the league, though.
Okay, I understand that. Much easier league. Much less pressure, and then when you do bottle the league, you go and sign all the best players from the team that beat you to the league. It's a lot easier. I don't think Unai Emery ever in his career has been in a situation like Arteta has. He won Europa League because Europa League is the B competition. And let's be honest, when he was in the Champions League and he had a Champions League quality squad to go and win it, he couldn't do it. He ended up kept bottling it with PSG, had the worst bottle job in Champions League history versus Barcelona. So in my opinion, Unai Emery is consistently propped up because he has a 21-year career in football compared to Arteta, who has 6 years, and they're compared. It's stupid.
I wanted to say to Bradley, we cannot pretend that being the manager of being a PSG have it much easier than City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea do to win the league. Let's not fucking lie here. Let's not pretend that PSG don't have it easier, the same as Bayern Munich don't have it easier, the same as Barca and Real Madrid don't have it easier. The financial gulf between those teams is absolutely... I'll give you an example. Marseille have the second biggest income in France, right? Paris Saint-Germain is 800 million a year. Marseille, it's 287 million. Paris Saint-Germain spend almost double the turnover of Marseille on salary of their squad. Okay, to put it into context, Man City is 837 million. Then you've got United on 770 million. Then you've got Arsenal on 716. Then Liverpool on 714. Then you've got Spurs on 615 and then Chelsea on 540. Look how close the English teams are in terms of income, which means what you can spend on players and what you can spend on salary to keep players and attract the best managers. There's just, again, the French league's great. The talent's amazing. The physicality, some of the games are brilliant, but let's not pretend it isn't a one-horse race. And I think any manager who manages PSG who doesn't win the league title, I think it's a disgrace. I think when you have that much of an advantage, imagine any of our teams take out the other 5 top teams. Imagine you make 700 million a year. And in England, the next team with the nearest income that's Marseille's level is, West Ham make more money than Marseille. West Ham make more money than Marseille, right? The English teams that make that kind of money are your sort of your Brightons. Imagine in England, you get rid of all the top 6, you keep one of them. Let's just say it's Man City. Okay, let's do Man City. They should never, ever, ever not win the league if the next richest team is Brighton. Ever. Come on, what are we fucking doing here, you morons? Sorry, it's not about Arteta. That's about what the French league is. One team has such a monopoly. It is unbelievable. It's not fucking bullshit, man. Zero context. Context my ass. You don't need fucking context on that. Fuck me. Most of the French teams, their whole model is to build young players and sell them to clubs outside of France so they can stay afloat because there isn't the money there. Let's not start comparing it. Oh, PSG. Put 4 or 5 more billionaire owners with PSG's money into that league, watch it change, and they'll have a difference of opinion. But until that happens, fuck me. Fuck me sideways. Terry, Donnarumma and Cherky were from Liga. Yeah, the players are wicked. No one says they're not brilliant players. But the point is, Cherky's not there anymore because there's no fucking money. If was he at Lyon? He was. If Lyon had PSG's income, they wouldn't have sold him. He'd be part of a team that's trying to win the Champions League. But that also helps PSG because PSG can either buy the best players from all the other French teams or Europe weakens them and they maintain their strength. Fuck, come on. Sorry, bro. Listen, if you're a PSG fan, great. If you don't win the league every year, it's an embarrassment. It's imagine Man United losing a league title to Brighton. If no one else has got any money, only us. Fuck me. Fuck me. Go away. Must win tonight. City will capitalise if we don't. Imagine LB and Man City fans looking forward to this game tonight. But let's get behind them. Come on, you gooners. Yeah, it's going to be. I think both will win. I think City will beat Sunderland tomorrow night as well. I think they're both going to win. Go look who was in that Monaco squad. Yeah, they were good.
What's he talking about? Martial, Mbappe, all of those guys? Or
guess what PSG did? PSG bought the best player from the Monaco squad.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But that was also a Monaco midfield that had Bakayoko in it, who came to the Premier League and didn't do so great.
Imagine if after we lost the league to City, we went and bought Erling Haaland from them.
Yeah, they should still be in the league every year. I don't care. Emery taking that's what we've done that one here. Villa ended our 18-game unbeaten run. We need a revenge. Ooh.
I hope we do.
Our biggest problem is that we're not winning games by big enough margins to bench him earlier. That's about Declan Rice. Yes, fair. That's very fair. Is Chelsea the least heated top six, and why they get no attention? The least hated.
Spurs is the least hated.
Well, I mean, hate's quite a strong word, isn't it, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Spurs is the least hated because everyone could just kind of.
I don't hate Spurs. I don't hate Chelsea. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
No, you definitely hate Chelsea, according to the chat, bruv.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I felt, to be honest. But no, like, I don't know, man.
Aston Villa should replace Spurs, to be honest.
What harm is playing 10 minutes in a game? No, mate, you've got to do the warm up. You've got to travel with the squad. You've got to cool down. It's not just 10 minutes. It's not just 10 minutes.
I want to try and end this debate in either direction. I'm going to try and get a physio on who's like been at a football club just to ask them, is that better or worse for a player? Is one game a week better or two? I would love to. You like an actual. This is where Sky Sports and all these big companies annoy me because they have the money and the clout to bring on some experts to go. Well, in fairness, it still wouldn't work because the financial experts have been going on TV for 7 years saying net spend's not real, and Sky Sports sit there and go, "Oh wow, that's interesting." Next thing, they put up a net spend fucking graphic. The wankers. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to stop. Do you know what I mean? It's because agendas have got to run, I suppose, in either direction. And if he says, by the way, the managers are at fault, I'll blame the managers. I think we just need a professional to tell us what is and what isn't. And then at least then we know. But then do you get this feeling that do people want the debate to be ended or do they want to keep being able to spout whatever they want to spout? Do you know what I mean? Maybe. Like Pep overplayed Rodri, LB is speaking from experience. Let him cook. Yeah. Oh, Ralph's your friend now.
Yeah. Exactly. I did overplay Rodri. he got injured.
I want to speak transfers for a minute, boys, because obviously we know City are getting Semenyo, excellent signing. Reports come out as well. The salary you're giving him as well is very good, 150k a week. It's not crazy money. I think it's fantastic. But last week we spoke about this, LB, and you were sort of like, I'm not really seeing the link saying he's going to come to us. But I think that same evening he did. Brilliant bit of business for you guys. There's no doubt about that. How excited are you about him coming in?
I think it's a great signing, man. The fact is, our backup wingers right now are Savio, who's got 0 Premier League goals, and Bob, who's got 0 Premier League goals. We're signing a player that can play anywhere across the front line. I think he's the 3rd highest Premier League goal scorer of the season. And, he adds physicality to our side, which we still lack. He adds serious competition for Doku on the left, which he doesn't really have anymore. So, yeah, I think it's a great signing, man. You know what I mean? He's not the Elise or one of those type of players, but as a sort of squad rotation option, I think he's going to get a lot of games. And also Doku's had a lot of injuries. He's only 23. He's had like 10 injuries, so you got to be careful. You can't spam him out. And again, we spammed him out, and he got injured. I think it's a great signing. And very happy. So I think he plays tonight, actually, innit, against Chelsea, is it? So I might have that on the monitor, man. So I think it's a cracking signing, lads. Can't lie.
It certainly is, in my opinion. And Mikel Arteta yesterday, Egal, said something very interesting that Arsenal need to be active in the window. Arsenal need to do something in the window. Arsenal have got to. I was talking to Goldbridge this morning, and he feels that just as a fan, that this could be a really busy January. And I'm thinking about players you've been linked to in the past, the Rodrygos of Real Madrid, as an example. Semenyo was another player you were linked to. What areas do you feel Arsenal may activate, may look to? What areas of business do you think you could move towards in this January window? Because there are a lot of gooners, and it sounds like Mikel Arteta agrees with them, that feel City have made a move, they've strengthened their attack. You've got to react in kind.
All right. There's 2 parts to this. Number one, I feel like he always has to say that to one thing, and that shows the ambition that he has as a manager to always look to improve the team, and that just breaks the narrative that people are saying that we don't have ambition when you have the manager coming out saying something like that. Number one. Number two, when it comes to individuals that are going to sign, I have heard rumors that Kepa might leave. I have heard rumors that Kepa could go to Italy and be a number 1, and we might bring in another keeper. We might even look at some attacking options, maybe leaving or coming in. But at this moment in time, it's too early to paint the picture. Arsenal keep a lot of things close to their chest. They don't let people know what they're going to do. So I have absolutely no idea what this January transfer window could have for Arsenal.
Who would you like then? Like, maybe a better question is, who would you like? Because as you like, Rodrygo has been a name that's been linked for a long time. Is it a player like a Rodrygo? Is it a different type of striker, an Ollie Watkins of this world? Is it a different type of midfield? Could it be Kobbie Mainoo on loan, as I've seen people float about, or Marcus Rashford's name, as it's been reported Barcelona are not going to activate the clause? Is there a player that you just, magic one time here, that you would go out and get to give you that bigger and better chance of winning the Premier League this year?
I look at the team and I say to myself, left wing would be amazing if you can go and strengthen in the left wing or in the midfield. I think those would be the two key areas. Right now, with Ethan potentially going out and maybe some of the attackers going, I don't think we're going to go and get a signing like Gyökeres, but we are linked to him. It's really just going to be if that player becomes available this window. I don't think Arsenal's going to go spend ridiculous money on a player that they don't have part of their plans right now for the long term. They're not going to do an Ollie Watkins type signing. If Kobbie Mainoo was available, a loan was available, we do have Premier League loans available, but I don't think that's going to realistically, Manchester United's not going to sanction that. But I am still looking around. There was that French kid that we were looking at, we're linked to. It could be another midfielder, Terry. I do think realistically it's a midfielder. If we're ambitious and we seriously see an option to get an attacker, if Jesus or somebody leaves this window, we could get a left winger. But I don't see anything else coming in besides a left winger and a midfield player coming in as depth. That kid, Ayub, whatever is that, the PSG. But he signed a new deal, so I don't know if he's gonna go.
What do you think, David? Do you think City's move means Arsenal have got to react now at least, and maybe take a summer signing and bring them in early, add a bit of extra quality to their squad?
I mean, from experience, and when Man United were at the top and were winning back-to-back Premier Leagues, Fergie would always get a little something extra in January to just help the team. Call it a Henrik Larsson, call it a Michael Owen, call it something like that. They're not firing on all cylinders, are they, Arsenal up top? And this may sound crazy, but maybe they need to get someone like that they can get an extra 10 goals from, especially. How many goals do you reckon Semenyo adds to City? We had this discussion last time. What do you reckon? 8 goals?
Havertz adds to Arsenal.
Who?
Sorry?
How many goals do you think Havertz adds to Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, like I've heard multiple times from Positive Dan, the last time you scored the most goals in your history was with Havertz up top, right? I think he adds goals for other players. I'm not sure he adds goals himself, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I does think he adds goals for other players, which is just as good, right? I think he probably adds around 6 to 8 goals, but will he stay fit, Egal? I mean...
Also, is he going to play?
Yeah, I can't rely on Havertz if I was an Arsenal fan. I think you've got to go out and get...
Just to let you guys know, over the last 2 seasons, he had a total of 15 and 14 each.
What, goals?
Just goals.
All comps.
If you want to know Premier League, he had...
If you can.
He had 13 the first year, and he had 9 last year. And he only played 23 games last season, by the way. And he had 9 goals.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is for Havertz for me... Sorry, go on, bro.
Go for it, LB. Go for it.
Now, the thing is with Havertz for me, is I actually thought Havertz done a good job as a striker for or false nine, however you want to describe it, for Arsenal. My problem is he missed too many big chances. Yeah, and that's his problem. But that's sort of like what Gyökeres was meant to do. You bought Gyökeres to put the ball in the back of the net to score the goals, and he ain't doing that. So this is why tonight I think Gyökeres has got a big game, because this is what you bought him for, man. He's got to score goals, man. Gyökeres ain't. You brought Gyökeres in to bag goals, yeah. And is he going to hit Haaland numbers? No, he's obviously not that good. But 20 goals, I don't think 20 goals is like that unrealistic to ask for when you shelled out over 60 million quid. He done 100 in the last 2 seasons for Lisbon. The guy's on what, like 4 goals, 5 goals for the season. So he's massively and the thing is with him, if he's not bagging goals, then is there any point in playing him? Are you better off playing a Marino? Are you better off playing a Havertz? Because for me, these guys do more outside the box than this Gyökeres geezer. I think Havertz's all-round play is actually decent, yeah. So for me, yeah, like I think Gyökeres is running out of time here. If he doesn't start putting a ball in the back of the net, it would not surprise me if when Havertz is fully backing up and running, he goes with Havertz. But then the problem is Havertz hasn't won you the league in the last 2 years. So is he going to do it this year?
One second. I don't want to hear from you, LB, out of all people who have the most patience for all your players when they come into City, because Pep, it takes him at least a year to figure out players, to tell me a player's running out of time after 18 games. I think if we look back, you can see many players throughout football history who their first 18, 20 games are not necessarily amazing. But even then, when you say that, the man's on 7 goals so far this season for Arsenal. There's not too many strikers that are like Erling Haaland. There's 3 strikers in the world that are like Erling Haaland, that are double digits, 20 goals. It's Kane, Mbappe, and Haaland. Everybody else is in and around 7 to 8 goals. The top goal scorers in the league after Erling Haaland are on 11 and 9, and Gyökeres is not really too far off that.
Listen, I'm not being funny, yeah. But if I would have said to you in the summer, yeah, Gyökeres scores 10 league goals in this season, which he's currently on track to do.
No,
what would you have said to him?
He's on track to get 15.
Bro, we're halfway through the season. He's on 5 Prem goals.
Okay, he has 5 Prem goals, but guess what? He hasn't played all the games. He was injured for some games, and he is still getting back into a team. I've seen many players have poor first starts to the season and second half turn it on and go crazy. Even last season, I remember Eze was on a streak of scoring like multiple goals in multiple games. This season, even Foden had 3 games where he got braces in each game. He was shitting
I don't know why you deflecting onto other players. I've asked you a simple question.
I'm just giving you an example. I don't see the same level of criticism for other players.
Wait a second. I don't know why you're deflecting onto other players.
I'm not deflecting.
I'm asking you an example. I'm giving you a question to answer. If currently, yes or no, Gyökeres is on track to do 10 league goals this season. Yes.
No, he could easily outperform that.
Oh, no, of course he could, but he's on track to do 10. Yeah? So if he maintains this current track of 10 goals, you're telling me that's not crap. That's disappointing, isn't it?
By the way, we're currently on track to win the league.
Yeah, correct. But the point I'm saying is on Gyökeres, if he doesn't score goals soon, would you not be better off dropping him for someone like a Havertz?
Of course, nobody's undroppable. But guess what?
That's all I said.
All we care about this season is to win the league. And I feel like the reason why the Gyökeres discussion is propped up so much is because rivals and the media don't have too much to criticize Arsenal about. Yeah. This is what they want to stick to. They want to continuously speak about Gyökeres. They want to continuously speak about a negative. But when it's City, I don't see any criticism about their flaws. I don't see any criticism about their defense. I don't see any criticism.
What? Are you off your head, bro? We get criticized. The thing is with you, Egal, you can't take no criticism, bro, about your team. That's
right
the truth.
Right now, all the conversation is about City applying pressure. Arsenal are sitting in first, and there's more criticism about Arsenal players than there is some of the teams lower down the table.
Because there's question marks over Arsenal, Egal. It's not being plucked out of the blue. City have the history of winning the league. City have the history of catching Arsenal. I get it. It's harsh on Arsenal. But every time I click on YouTube, all I see is Arsenal are scary. But the question mark needs to be there. You have to be questioned.
Not by me.
Oh, mate, you're the professor of it, mate.
By my mimickers, as I call them, my mimickers.
Right. But the point is, Egal, you have to be questioned, right? There is a question mark over Arsenal.
What's happening is there's going to be a team that's going to get the absolute floor wiped out of them because we are playing really well. We're just not finishing our dinner. City and Arsenal have actually created a similar amount of chances this season. The difference is they are extremely clinical and they're overachieving on their expected goals, same as Aston Villa, where Arsenal, who's currently top of the table, who's currently only on a 5-game winning streak, unlike City, who's on an 8, and Aston Villa, who's on an 11. We're getting criticized because we're winning games when we're not playing well.
It's not necessarily that though, bro.
I think you guys are overly criticizing a team that's not playing well but winning games.
This whole question, Egal, started with me just asking you a very simple question, yeah? That if Gyökeres is currently on track to do 10 Premier League goals, yeah? So if he's not scoring, would you not be better off dropping him and putting Havertz in?
Guess what?
Who does more outside the box?
I don't think you're wrong. But what I disagree with is the premise of the way that Gyökeres is being spoken about. He is still impacting games. He is still creating chances. He is still getting goals. And we are still winning these games. With him on the pitch, we are actually a much more dangerous team because it gives more freedom for Saka. More freedom to Odegaard.
I mean, I get your point. I get your point there, Egal, right? But let's be real here, yeah? We all expected Gyökeres to deliver a little more than he has. So this narrative about Gyökeres has not been plucked out of the blue because we hate Arsenal. Yes, I admit I do. But let's be honest here. Gyökeres was meant to do a little better than he has done for now. But things can change. You're right. He can outperform, right?
We also all criticize the Portuguese league and say the Portuguese league is not on the same level as the Premier League. So we can't have our cake and eat it too. Is it that the Premier League is the best league in the world and it takes teams a while to get used to it? Or are we just going to expect players to do exactly what they're doing in other leagues when they come into our league? I don't think that's the reality. I think the reality is there is a level of acclimatization. There's a little adjustment. It doesn't matter if you come from the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, Portuguese league. Not every single player is just going to come in and hit the ground running.
I agree totally.
And when he does start scoring goals, there's going to be people sitting here saying, I agree. Arsenal only needed a striker.
I agree totally. My last point on that is this. How many goals did he score last season for Sporting, whether it be a lesser league than the Premier League? We know that, right?
Yeah.
Right. You don't think he could deliver at least flipping 20% of that?
I think partially there's games where we don't create chances for him. And there's partially games where his touch is letting him down or his
where we're getting somewhere with it. I think if you're adjusting, you should at least be able to deliver 20 to 30% of what you were delivering in another league. And he's not on track to do that. So that's where the criticism is coming from. That's all.
I think you also have to remember that at Sporting, they're playing through him. He is the system. That is different to an Arsenal where you're part of the team. Everybody here has signed a player. You signed Cunha. You signed Mbeumo. They were the system at those said teams. Cunha's not started off the same way he was at Wolves because he's not getting the same level of shots. He's not getting the same level of chances. Let me give you the perfect example. This season, if you look at the amount of shots that Erling Haaland has taken compared to the amount of shots that Gyökeres has taken, Erling Haaland has taken 3 times the amount of shots in the Premier League alone. Erling Haaland has taken 60.
That's just greedy.
Erling Haaland has taken 60 plus shots, where Gyökeres has taken about 20. We expect Gyökeres to score all these goals. He at least has to have the shots.
I think his movement's not good enough.
That's true.
I think his movement needs to improve. Yeah, and this is the thing for me. He might start scoring goals, and if he does, cool. Yeah, but my point is, Egal, if he doesn't start scoring goals, I would probably drop him, man, and put Havertz back in there because I think Havertz would be a better for your system.
That's what squad is for. That's what squad is for.
There's no problem with that. I remember Aguero getting dropped for a young Jesus. I've seen it. I don't think there's any problem with that.
But the question from Terry was the question from sorry, go on, Terry.
No.
The question from you was
you go.
The question from you was City are signing Semenyo. Do Arsenal need to do anything?
Do Arsenal need to do anything? And for me,
I think they do.
they might need to, because look, my view of what City are doing, and I always get a lot of stick from City fans. I don't big the team up. I'm not. I must have whacked the amount of lyrical whacking I've done about Semenyo going. I do think he is a needle mover because I think he'll score lots of goals there. And I think what City have done is they've gone right. Rodri is coming back. It might help us. But in terms of being a team that's almost impenetrable, like you used to be, that's not being fixed in January. I think the approach is buy some more firepower and make sure we're scoring even more goals. The fear, which I always thought was ridiculous, was, well, only Haaland scoring. Another City fans, another area that I sort of defended you and backed you in, when I think it was Micah Richards was doing, if Haaland doesn't stop scoring, they're going to fall off. I said it then, and I knew what would happen, because sometimes you don't need an indicator in the moment. You just need to know football players. Foden was always going to come good. Cherky for me was a brilliant signing. Other players were there was too many talented players in that City team for just Haaland to be the only goal scorer. And you're watching Foden and Cherky right now killing it. Doku's coming back. Semenyo's being added. And that's the only weak area really has been Bob and Savio in terms of the final touch or putting the ball in the back of the net. I think that it's not, I might even put a little wager on it. Might even go on Ballybet tonight and put a little wager on 8 league goals. 8 or more league goals.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I can imagine him doing it. And he also scores, I use the modern day, I call him a half chance. He scores a lot of half chances. He scores a lot of difficult goals. They're not always the tap-ins with the high XG. They're difficult goals. And those types of players change the course of games because you could be in a 50-50 game, but he'll score chances. Doku will, Cherky will, Haaland, of course. I do think Arsenal might need to do something in their team. I don't know what their plans are. You guys do keep things very close to your chest, but you might need to react in that way. But your manager said it. So that's what's made me think it. I weren't really thinking about it until I watched the press conference or the clip from the press conference. You know, well, if Arteta's saying we need to be active in the window, that's often a message from a manager, isn't it? It's often when a manager says those things. We've seen Glasden doing it at Palace all season. He's been very direct. He's basically said, you pricks, I need more players, right? Brendan Johnson, by the way, according to Fabrizio, hasn't just got Palace to choose from. Brighton are now presented an offer, and so have Sunderland and Everton. So it looks like he's definitely going to move Tottenham. So things are starting to pick up in the window already. So look, it's going to be an interesting one. A few super chats here. This one is from Robert, who says, I want all Arsenal fans to big up the team from minute 1 to minute in the stadium. I'm not worried if Rice isn't in the squad. We'll beat Villa 2-1. Come on, you gooners, is what Robert says here. Big up, Robert. Arteta said they are looking to strengthen in January. Exactly. No, he did. Gyökeres' issue is not about goals. Is he getting the chance to score? Well, I think what LB, I do think the movement could be better. I will say that. I need to be critical. Sometimes I look at it and go, make that run to that near post instead of just waiting at the back post. Like make it. Javier Hernandez, one of the best I've ever seen at doing it. Just Ian Wright. Just watch videos of Ian Wright. Just go and watch 3 or 4 hours of Ian Wright and look at his runs. Because I think you can learn those things. That for me,
it's funny.
People go on about you can't teach instinct. Someone who comes from a fighting background knows that's bollocks. Yeah. Because if you go into a gym, you might not have I could teach all of you within enough training sessions to a point where if someone throws a kick or punch towards you, you will instinctively move in a way to block it and deflect it. You can train instincts. It's either you can't, it's ridiculous. Like in animals.
At the highest level, talent's important, isn't it? At the highest level, talent's important.
It's important, but you can still get better at things. And there are certain. I think it's harder to teach. I think it's harder to make someone's technique or their touch better than it is to train instinct.
Can I ask a question?
Terry, can I just quickly point out? According to this, Gyökeres is 8th in the league for big chances missed. He's got a worse shot conversion rate than Haaland, Igor Thiago, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Nick Voltemad, Antoine Semenyo, Kevin Shader, who else? Lucas Nemecha, Danny Welbeck, Richarlison, João Pedro. So we can Hugo Ekitike, Mikel Merino, Marc Guehi, Phil Foden. So it's all right. I was sitting there saying, "Oh, yeah, he never gets any chances." But it's what
you said. He has a lower conversion rate.
Lower shot conversion rate than all those players.
By the way, Dominic Calvert-Lewin in that list, doing well, isn't he? It's a transfer scout.
I'm going to say like he doesn't get any chances. Maybe they're not creating enough, but the fact is, he is getting a few chances and he's not putting them in the back of the net.
Let me look at this.
I hear that. That's because all City does is win. All Arsenal does is choke, win something, and the story changes. It's as simple as that.
I agree. Yeah.
You will never see Arsenal win the Premier League in your lifetime. You got to put the word again in there. I'm old. I've seen it, bruv. Seen it.
Question: How many goals has Mateta scored this season? Does anyone know it?
I'm going to say 6. He ain't scored in a while.
How much do you reckon he would go if Arsenal went, and you mentioned Ian Wright earlier, right? If Arsenal went to Crystal Palace and says, we want Mateta in the January transfer window, I think that would be big moves, right? And that would deliver more goals.
7 in the league this year.
Well, there you go. So he's tracking to get how many, LB? 14? if he's on 7 at the moment. How much do you think you could get?
Hang on.
Terry.
You just didn't fucking use tracking, did you?
I'm a changed man.
Maybe we converted him, Terry. Maybe he's signed
maybe so. The point
tracking.
is, if you signed Mateta, Egal, don't you think you're a big threat to win the Premier League? I know you are anyway, but how much is the Premier League worth to you? 50 million? 100 million?
His whole life.
What's your point?
The point is, how much is Arteta? How much Mateta? How much would he go for?
What
do you guys think?
I don't think we have room in the squad for Mateta. I don't think he's
You wouldn't take Mateta in the squad.
Can you imagine Mateta winning Arteta the league? There's something about the names, bro.
I'm just looking. 1 second. I think we need to acknowledge the quality of a player and the fit of the player, and what they're doing at their club might not necessarily translate at certain clubs. That's just what
I think he'd do well at Arsenal, my friend.
That's true. Interestingly, Fabrizio also said today, David, that Man United are looking at a striker now in January.
Yeah. Of course, I'm not surprised. I've been telling you this for months.
We have 4 strikers. We're not going to sign another.
That's also because Xerxes wants to go, and the club are happy to sanction it, but they want to bring someone else in. I hope I want a midfielder more than a striker. But if Xerxes goes, then I don't think we should be aiming for a backup for Šeško. We should be aiming for better. Like for me. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. This LB, if Gyökeres played for Man City, will he score more goals than he's doing now?
He'd probably score a few more goals than he would do now. Yeah, of course he would. Yeah, but he wouldn't be scoring anywhere near Haaland numbers because he ain't got the movement of Haaland. But he'd get more goals because he got Ryan Cherky and that behind him. So yeah, he would.
I mean, we've seen Pep change a style of play to suit Haaland. We've seen that. Arteta, we can argue, has not done that for Gyökeres, has he? Not yet, anyway.
Egal's twitching, bro.
I'm looking at something. I'm looking at total shots per 90 in the Premier League, and Haaland is second. Cunha is actually first. How many goals does Cunha have for you guys?
I've always said Cunha's crap.
Chill out, LB.
Cunha's been good, man.
God, Cunha's been good. I'll be honest, Terry. I thought his finishing was a lot better than this. He's missing a lot of goals that I think.
Again, but this is one of those things for me. His finishing hasn't been great, and I want more output. And I wouldn't say he's been perfect, but in terms of how he's played in the vast majority of games, he's been a very good player for us. Yeah.
I enjoy watching him. Yeah, but he needs to improve on his finishing instincts. Yeah, instincts.
There's 46 players in this Premier League that get more shots per 90 than Gyökeres, and the guy's still up there with 5 goals. I'm not worried.
With 5 goals.
And just very quickly, Egal, do you put that down to his movement or bad creation?
Partially both, Terry. I'm not sitting here faulting him of no blame. I do think he needs to improve with his movement. I do also think that's part of the cohesion that you built with the teammate. At this moment in time, he has quality players that can make crosses and pass the ball to him in certain key areas, but he's not making runs.
No better time than tonight.
I also have one more take. I think if you were to take Gyökeres today and you were to put him in a transition team like Newcastle, he would be putting up just as many goals as anybody else in this league. But I think.
So what are you blaming? You blaming Arteta?
No, I think the way that we play doesn't really suit his set style of play. Simple.
So why would you sign him?
Because he's a really good goal scorer, and what we were looking for is a finisher. We're looking for a finisher. He's a good finisher. We're just not getting him the ball. I could name the amount of chances he's had facing the goal this season. 90% of his chances, he got the ball and he had to turn towards the goal and shoot.
The problem is he's just not got the movement of an elite level striker, so he's not getting the chances partly due to himself because he's not good enough.
No, deep down, Egal, you don't think you should have signed him. Deep down.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a great ball striker. But what a Mikel Arteta striker has needed in the past was great technical ability, great first touch, great build-up play. He might have some of those things, but he's not the same as what we previously had. And I think he can turn it around. But if I were to go back, I think Ekitike has been the best summer signing for all the strikers.
Yeah. Can I ask you one last question? Sorry, Terry. I know you probably want to wrap up. Yeah. Egal, if you don't win the Premier League this year, will you pinpoint that signing as the reason you potentially failed?
I think the main reason why we don't win the league is because we're not clinical. And I don't think it's only on him. It's also on Saka, other players in the team to be clinical.
Cool.
That's fair. I actually want the extra criticism from the media. It will only fuel us and make us better. I want them to keep us under the radar. Big up yourself, bro. Havertz over Gyökeres, LB as an OPP.
Op.
Oh, sorry. As an op, you will rather have Arsenal play with Gyökeres or Kai Havertz?
It's a good question.
Right now, I'd probably say I'd rather you play with Gyökeres.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. No Rice is a big deal, as Villa's midfield physically is a big reason they win the games. All you got to do is pack the midfield. Man United packed the midfield against them and actually dominated it. So I'm not, no disrespect, if we've, by the way, no Bruno on the pitch, like no Mainu, Ugarte in there. If we were able to do it, Arsenal should be able to do it as well.
You respected them a lot more than majority of teams. That's why you were able to do that.
I mean, we didn't finish our dinner in the first half. You know, we're always kind of doing a great 45 minutes and then we fall off. But I was proud of the way we played, you know, but my standards are low.
I think Aston Villa second half of the season, boys, they fall off because teams are going to respect them and they're going to treat them like a team that you should be on the bus again.
David's right. Like, as my ex-girlfriend used to tell me, you know, it's not how you start, Terry, it's how you finish.
Yeah.
How many formations are we playing tonight, Terry? Well, some big news about Man United, David. Young Kone is in the matchday squad.
That's amazing news.
The manager's changing. The manager is. Do you know what it's you know, one day I close X and we all knew who Bruce Jenner was. The next day I opened X and it was Kylie Jenner. What's his name now? Caitlin. Caitlin turned up. That's how I feel about Amorim.
Is, everything...
night, kids weren't being used. 3 at the back. I open up the next day. The kids are in the squad. 4 at the back. The change.
But the last few weeks when I've been saying, we've seen improvement. Some of the things you've come up with is defensively we're not great. We've just got a clean sheet. He doesn't use youth. You've just told me that news. It's all looking rosy, I think. We're heading in the right direction. I wouldn't use the word
rosy. I would say it's looking encouraging, but let's wait and see if tonight's rosy. How much has Dorgu scored, LB, with the same transfer amount?
I've just checked. 17.
18.
17.
17, yeah.
It's not bad.
In how many years?
3 years.
3. Well, 2 and a bit.
Two and a bit, to be fair.
Look, I want to thank everyone who tuned into the show today. David, LB, Egal, thank you for being on. I want to thank our viewers. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. If you're watching over on X, come and join us on YouTube. Come and subscribe to the channel and join the community. This is going to redirect you to Footy Judge Mo's channel, so go and support my brother. We're back live about 9:30, 9:45. Actually, be a bit late, about 10 o'clock. After all the games finish tonight, we'll be doing a big live full fan highlight show. Happy New Year to you. Here, thank you for the member chat. 12 months as a member. Big up yourself. Best show ever. Thank you very much, my friend. We appreciate that a lot. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.